Part 2, Gam Anon, 4th step. Page 6. Reflections on anger, forgiveness, healing. One way or another, I was going to make my husband suffer for what he has done to me. I couldn't accept gambling as a disease. I blame him for all of my unhappiness. In subtle ways, I was going to get even. One weapon I used was to withhold sex. I degraded him in front of my children. I showed him no respect. I had become a vengeful and ugly person. Does it really matter anymore? I can only hold onto anger so long, and then it doesn't serve me anymore. The anger begins to eat at me faster and block my own growth. Depressions and self-pity will soon engulf me. I may not even remember what actually happened or why I'm holding on to the memory of it. I need to take time for an honest self-appraisal. I may find that I am not working for my own best interests and that the time has come to let go and move on. Resentment poisoned every waking hours of my life. And when I first came to Gam Anon, all I wanted to do was to get even. And daily, I found ways to lash out at my gambler in my life. I thought that if I stayed angry enough, he would refrain from gambling. I thought resentment was the key to controlling. I thought it would make me feel better to see him hurt. None of it was true. Instead, I made myself into a bitter human being. I got sick physically and spiritually. I could not be loving towards the important people in my life. The wall that was supposed to protect me was destroying me. I finally realized that holding onto resentment was preventing me from experiencing the joy of my life. I desperately wanted to find peace. I was told that the key to that peace was forgiveness. It is not up to me to punish anyone. We are all equal in the eyes of the higher power. By releasing my resentment, I found freedom. I found my heart once more. Questions. 1. Have I given up the wish to punish or get even with others? Do I understand that when I do not forgive others, I gave them a lot of power in my life? 3. Do I believe forgetting is forgiving? Excusing is forgiving? Smoothing things out is forgiving. Tolerating is forgiving. 4. Do I realize the price I pay for my hate and anger? 5. Do I hold a grudge? What do I get out of this? Can I shift my attention from pain someone has inflicted on me to the desire to forgive and heal? 7. Do I realize that most people have merely done the best they could at the time and did not intend to harm me? 8. Do I recognize that if I can forgive others, I can also forgive myself? Have I discovered that if I can forgive myself, I can also forgive others? 9. Do I often overreact? Is my anger in proportion to that circumstance? 10. Have I discovered that I am really angry at myself when I think I am angry at others? 11. Do I express my anger appropriately to the person with whom I am angry? Or do I take it out on innocent others? 12. Do I stuff down my angry feelings? 13. Have I failed at expressing my thanks to someone who had made a positive difference in my life? End of page 7. Page 8. Reflections on attitudes and hope. By the time I entered Gam Anon, I had lost all hope. I remember thinking, what have I got to look forward to? I had been so conditioned by broken promises, lie, and disappointment that I could hardly believe that I would ever experience joy, peace, and normalcy. I had come to believe that everything was and always would be lousy. Slowly, my life improved. I need to remember that sometimes things did go right. Sometimes I did get on the quickest line at the supermarket. Sometimes I did get that available parking spot. Sometimes I could expect the best outcome instead of the worst. There was a situation in which I really wanted something to happen very much, but I was afraid to let myself get too hopeful, lest I'd be too disappointed if it did not go as I wished. I was reminded that I would be disappointed if it didn't go my way, whether I was hopeful or not. So I might as well at least enjoy being hopeful. It was a good lesson in living in the now. During my gambling years, my life became a total fantasy. When I came into program, I needed to face reality. But I took this a step too far. For fear of being too hopeful, I became cynical. I decided life was all bad, disappointing, miserable. I needed to find a balance. I needed to have hope without being way off in the clouds. I needed to allow myself to dream again, as long as the possibilities was rooted in reality. How often have I been told, laughter is the best medicine? There are days when my unhappiness and tears consume my entire being. How can I possibly find happiness or anything to laugh about in my present situation? I know humor is there underneath the pain, but it will take a conscious effort on my part to uncover the blackness. Finding the humor is a skill I wanted to develop. Today, I will turn a situation around that normally would make me cry. Today, I will begin to laugh again and remember how good it feels. 1. Do I look on the bright side of things? Do I often make a hopeful view of matters and expect the best outcome? 2. Do I approach life cheerfully? 3. Am I agreeable? Will I go along with others even when I don't agree with them? 4. Am I willing to try something new? 5. Do I put off doing something because of a negative attitude? 6. Can I do a task without complaining? 7. What do I want out of life? How are these things important to living? Do I believe I will achieve them? 8. What does the word happiness means to me? 9. Do I find myself saying, if only? 10. Have I allowed depression, self-pity, or despair to rule my life? 11. Is there a secret desire or wish that I have? What keeps me from achieving it? 12. Am I optimistic about the future? Or am I anxious about the future? Do I spend a lot of time worrying? 13. How has my negativity impact upon myself or others? Do I laugh? Do I have a sense of humor? End of page 9.